Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
And we're back on the SUMELEVATE podcast. And it's good to have Eston Swaby on the SUMELEVATE podcast today. And he's the founder of DrivenToSuccess.co. It's a transformational company that's created to educate, to inspire, to motivate individuals and organizations through the use of coaching training, speaking, workshops, and coaching. And his mission is to help individuals to live their purpose, to pursue their dreams, and to grow to their full potential while being the best version of themselves. So he does this through his videos, his books, his online courses, speaking engagements, experiential workshops, and one-on-one coaching interactions. Eston is also the founder of BibleWayMag.com, which is a site geared towards Christians and non-Christians. And you can see Eston speaking at churches, conferences, and events, schools, different companies, and at youth groups. His first book, An Empowered Life, which congratulations on that, by the way, is released last year.
Thank you very much.
And has been greatly impacting many lives, and it helps people to overcome their past, get past their fears and their limiting beliefs, and to really understand the process to get where they want to be. And it's good to have you on, bro.
It's good to be on. It's really good to be on. And yeah, nice to meet you also.
Yes, nice to meet you, man.
Yes.
So, before we begin, let me ask you, how did you begin your coaching journey?
Okay, my coaching journey. My coaching journey began after looking at my own life story, the things that I have been through, rejection, self-hate. There was a time that I hated my life. I hated everything about my life.
Yeah.
Every time I look in the mirror, all I could see was this dysfunctional, this person that really wanted to come out of my own skin. Yeah, and I didn't. I knew that I was not the only person that going through all of these things. And after I started overcoming and learning different strategies and learning that I am more than who I think I am, that I actually have greatness within me, and start seeing myself differently, I decided, I'm going to start helping persons to also, start loving themselves, start seeing value in their pain, because everything that we go through, it is to take us to the next level, take us into our purpose. Yeah. So I started realizing that all the things that I was going through was to actually help me to actually find my purpose and to, I'm actually living my purpose. I'm actually glad for the things that I've been through. Looking back now, there's a time that I hated all the things that I was going through, and I wish I was someone else. But now I actually love my life. I've loved all my pain. I love all the things that I've been through, and I just want to help. I just want to help persons and help individuals also, live their purpose and so forth.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I believe that you have a really interesting mindset now, and that's what really changed for you. And I think that's really inspiring to see someone really embracing their pain, and really now that you have more of a clarity about your journey. So that's really interesting, man. Thank you for sharing that. And so what are some things that you do with your clients that help them to achieve their goals?
Okay, before we can actually start achieving our goals, we have to know where we are. So I start looking at where they are now, and start looking at what they are doing. What are their habits? What are the things that will actually, because many times we are trying to achieve our goals, but there are the things that we are doing now that actually work against us. So I start looking at the first thing I start doing. I spend time looking at where they are now, their habit, how much do they want, what they say that they want. And then I help them to have a clear vision because you cannot achieve your dreams or you cannot achieve your goals without having a clear vision. So
Yeah.
what is it exactly what you want? So I realized that a lot of persons do not know exactly
Exactly.
what they
Yeah.
want.
That's very true, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the first thing that I do is that I help them to define what is it exactly they want. And then what are they we set goals. Goals are very important.
Yeah.
I was reading a research one time that said that less than 10% of the population actually set goals.
Wow.
And so I help them to set goals, and then I help them to take what are the small steps
Yeah.
that can help them to achieve their goals. It's not about the big
The
things,
little small
it's
steps
about
that build up to the bigger dream. Yeah.
yes.
That's
And
amazing.
I help them to keep and I help them to keep on track to their goals. Look at all the hindrance, all the obstacles that will come and how they can actually overcome those obstacles.
That's great. That's really inspiring, man. And so how do we get past any limiting beliefs so they don't stop us?
I realize that it's our beliefs are what make us.
Yeah.
And our beliefs will either help us to be successful or it will either stop us from being successful. So how do I help them to overcome their limited beliefs? You have to first identify what the beliefs are.
What
And
exactly they
beliefs?
are, yeah.
Yes. And because sometimes we have beliefs but we don't know exactly what they are and where they are coming from.
Yeah.
So where are these beliefs coming from? Is it coming from your parents? Is it coming from your past experiences? And then we start attacking those beliefs, countering those beliefs.
Yeah.
Say, for example, your belief. I was reading this story. One of my mentors told me about this story about this man. His father, how the story go? The first check that he got, I think he was in real estate, and the first check that he got was he found out that he actually was earning more than his father
Wow.
was
Yeah.
earning. And yes, and so from that moment he told himself that he'll never earn more money than his father. So and that belief, that thing that happened, it actually stopped him from being successful. So he was working very hard, but then he was not able to pass a certain glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Yes. And so as soon as he attacked that belief, then within 24 hours he actually skyrocketed his earnings. And so you have to realize what are the beliefs, where are they coming from, and then you have to start countering those beliefs.
Yeah. I like how you like to get to the pinpoint. I like how you get to the very specifics of the goals and the beliefs. Because sometimes, you're right, people don't know themselves. And you are kind of helping to guide people to understand their own thoughts and understand where they're coming from.
Persons come to you because they want results. They want to change their life. But sometimes they do not know. They know that they want to achieve a certain level of success or want to reach a certain, but they do not know how to get there. So I believe it is my job, it's my responsibility to help them to see those blind spots.
Yeah.
And to
so important. So
help
crucial.
them to get from where they. Yes. You were saying something.
That's interesting. You mentioned blind spots. What do you think are some blind spots that come up all the time for you when you're coaching clients?
A lot of times, persons have a lot of fears. The fear of success.
Yeah.
The fear of they have the fear of failure, but then beyond that fear of failure is the fear of what person says, how they will look before persons. If persons will laugh at them and so forth. So I help them to what are the things that beyond what is on the surface. Yeah, what are the little fears and the little belief systems and the belief of. And some persons, they basically do not love themselves, and so they are sabotaging their own selves.
Yeah.
I realize that a lot of behavior that persons engage in is because of love. They do not
Yeah.
really love themselves
Yeah.
and so forth. And so it's about it.
That's a great point. Do you have any strategies or any techniques for people who know they have that potential and they want to become the best version of themselves? So, do you have any strategies that you use for that?
I believe the best version of us, all of us were created to be more and to have more. But then, because of our upbringing, our social environment,
Yeah.
so our true self is lost.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I help persons to basically look at where they are now, what are they, and because sometimes in order for a person to become their best self, they have to come out of their environment. So I look at their present environment. If their environment helping them, the person that they associate with. Because
Yeah.
sometimes because of the persons we associate with, we're not able to become our best self and the best version of ourselves. So that's
Right.
that I do. I look at your environment, the people that you associated with, and is it possible for you to get out of that environment? Is it possible for you to? Sometimes it's not possible for you to get out of the environment, but then you can limit your association with some people. And I also have them to read books.
Yeah.
I recommend because books and videos, motivational videos.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was hate self-hate and didn't know myself and so forth.
Yeah.
Motivational videos and books, they are what helped me, and also the people that I hang around with. I realized that when I changed my association,
Yeah.
then I started seeing myself differently. So you need people that will stretch you, people that will help you to grow. So that's one of the things that I help them to find persons or to start associating with persons that will actually take them to where they actually want to go. Person that will motivate them, person that will stretch them. Yes, and sometimes I realize that persons online, because I have a lot of friends online and that I associate with, and they actually help me to change my own beliefs and so forth. So sometimes maybe you won't be able to find the persons around in your surrounding
Yeah.
that can help you, but then you can find persons in groups,
In groups. Yeah.
and yes, that can actually help you. And I basically help them to look at, as I said before, I help them to look at where they are and help them to formulate a plan of action to get them to where they want to go. So that's basically what I do.
Great.
And you have to take
I like how you
sorry.
mentioned. I like how you mentioned environment as well as the people, and I also like how you're saying to increase the amount of knowledge about this self growth, this topic. That's important too. So it's kind of holistic approach that you're taking. That's nice.
Yes, yes. And you also have to give up all blaming and all complaining,
Right. Yeah.
because you have to take complete 100% responsibility for your life and the results that you want to see, and that means you have to give up all blaming other persons for where you are
Yeah.
and complaining about the situation. So you have to give up that.
And what do you think is the best strategy to stop complaining or to stop blaming others? What do you think what are some steps that people can take?
You have to realize that someone can say something about you, right?
Yeah.
That hurts you, but it's not what they person say about you that actually hurts you. What you are saying to yourself. It's not the fact that you have a lot of persons that didn't grow up with their father, or they grew up in very hostile environments, but now they are living their purpose. So it's not the environment, or it's not what people are saying about it, but it's what you are saying about yourself.
About yourself,
So I
right?
have to help you to look at what are you saying about yourself. What are the what are when a person stops speaking, what are the beliefs, what are the words that come to you? And so I help them to look at other persons. I have a lot of about other persons that and I help them to look at those persons' life and the things that they went through and the life that they are living now. And I help them to realize that complaining about the situation will not help you.
Never is gonna solve it. Yeah.
Complaining about the economy will not help you. But what are the things that what can you do?
Right.
It's not the economy, it's not your parents, but it's what can you
What
do
is
to
the
change
action?
your
Right.
life?
Right. What is the action that you can take to
Yes.
change it? Right. That's a great point.
Yes. Right. So I help them to look what are the things that you can start doing instead of looking at the government and the
Yeah.
parents or what somebody said about you. What can you start doing in order for you to have the life that you want to live?
I think it's also important that when we're looking at these little petty things that we're complaining about, but instead we're shifting the lens to the greater picture. Like, what are your greater goals?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. And one of the things that keep a lot of persons stuck is because they are looking towards somebody else. Somebody else is doing this to me. It's because of this person or because of the government why I'm broke, why I'm not having the relationship that I want. Is because of that person. So we keep on blaming, and if I keep on blaming and complaining, you'll remain stuck.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the mood of blaming, then
Yeah.
you'll not start seeing strategies or ways on how you can actually change your life.
Right.
If I'm blaming the government, then I'm not going to find ways in which I can come out of my situation. I'm going to remain stuck.
Right.
So if
You're kind
you
of
want to live,
you're reinforcing that reality where you lack something, right?
yes. Yeah, so you have to, in order for you to live the life that you have to take responsibility. It's not somebody else's responsibility to help you to. It's not somebody else's responsibility for you to help you to have the life that you want to live. It's your responsibility. You have to make it happen. Whatever your dreams are, whatever you want in your relationship, in your finances, in different areas of your life, you have to make it happen. You are not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
So we have to come out of this entitlement mentality and say, okay, if it's gonna happen, it is up to me. Have this mentality that if it's gonna happen, it is up to me to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's very empowering. Thanks for sharing that. What is the one advice that you would give someone who's kind of, shy to talk to people, introverted, and they have social anxiety?
okay. All right. One of the things that you have to realize, social anxiety coming from somewhere. Maybe where the person was growing up. Maybe somebody hurt him or her in the past. So what are the beliefs that you have? Do you believe that everyone is out to hurt you? Do you believe that no one loves you? Do you have the belief that if you go and talk to that person, then that person is going to hurt you? So what are the beliefs that you have? Because everything comes back down to a belief.
Yeah.
And then you have to start, in order for you to build confidence, you have to start doing things. So if you're afraid of, say, talking to persons, maybe you can start feel the fear, because they will always have fear. So feel the fear and take action anyway. Start taking little action. Start engaging. So maybe you just go up to somebody and say, hi, how are you doing? And you just move on. The next time you can say, hi, how are you doing? My name. You can start building on that. So it's like a building block.
Right, it's a skill
And
set.
you realize that Yes, and the more you do it, then the more confident you'll be. And if you have a fear of, say, going on stage and talking, start doing it with your friends. Start doing it in a small group. Just start taking little actions, the little things. What are the little things that you can start doing?
Yeah.
And you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. There will always be fear, and yeah, people will always reject you. Will always have rejection. But if you are afraid of rejection, if you're afraid of what person will say, then you'll never grow. You'll never grow, and you have to learn that there's rejection is basically. I heard somebody say that rejection is a myth. It doesn't really exist. Say for example, I come and ask you for something, right?
Yeah.
I before I ask you for the thing, I didn't have it before, and then after I have it, I still did not have it. But then, so I'm still at the same place that I was before.
Right.
So you have to look at it. But then somebody else, that because that person reject you, that because that person is now don't want to speak to you, then still go talk to somebody else. There's always be somebody that can help you to achieve what you want. There always be somebody that will welcome you, basically. So they start.
That's a great point.
Basically start taking action, start doing little things, start finding persons.
Yeah.
And they start interacting. That's the best advice I can give person. Just start interacting, start talking, and start having small talks. That's the best way you can overcome social anxiety. Is basically just the act.
Just the action. Yeah. Great.
And the more you take action, then the more confident you'll be. And the more you realize that there's nothing, what you were afraid of, there was nothing to be afraid of in the first place. Because a lot of things that there's a time that I had social anxiety, I was afraid of talking to people. And it was because of fear of rejection. But then after I start interacting with people, I realized that there was nothing for me to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And sometimes people reject you because of how you approach, because of your approach.
Yeah.
Because of how you go about doing it. So basically, always analyzing yourself. If you start interacting with a person and you realize that it didn't go as you wanted, start looking at yourself. What did I do wrong? What can I change? What can I do differently the next time? It's always about improving yourself, improving your interaction. Yes, so that's what I have to say about that.
That's great. So speaking about fear, we kind of live in a culture where we're turning on the news and we're seeing all this negative imagery. So how can we avoid getting influenced by such societal thinking and the way that how can we control what images or what things we're seeing or what kind of music we're listening to? How can somebody start in that journey?
Okay, it's all about what you feed your mind.
Yeah.
What you feed your mind most. If every day you wake up and you're feeding your mind with garbage, then that is what you're going to get out. Yeah. So my advice is start feeding your mind with inspirational things. And so if you are driving, put in say for example you are driving to work, right?
Yeah.
And it's a 1 hour drive. Yeah. What are you listening to on your way to work? Because you realize that whenever you feed your mind up on negativity, then you're going to feel upset, and then you're going to start doubting your dreams. And if you look at what society is saying, if I look at what society is saying about starting a business and going to coaching, then I would never have started in the first place. Yeah. But it's what I feed my mind. Yeah. Every day I wake up, I feed my mind and inspirational things. I read books. Yeah. I listen to motivational speakers, and I feed my mind with these things. And so I'm able to combat all the negativity that is happening in the world, because I choose what I listen to. I choose what I read. So you have a choice, and it's what you feed the most that is what is going to more dominant in your life.
That's great.
So start feeding
Feeding
your
your
mind
mind.
with
Start feeding your
inspirational
mind.
things.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's great.
and you have to start believing in yourself, believing that there's not because the world is saying one thing. It's not for just say for example, say it's about business. Not because the world is saying that most persons who start a business fail. That does not mean that you have to be you. You don't have to fail. There are a lot of persons actually, and even if you fail, you can get back up. Because a lot of persons they fail and they get back up.
Yeah.
So it's all about learning from your mistakes and learning from other person's story.
Yeah.
And just be careful of who you associate yourself with. If you associate yourself with, I don't want to use the word loser, but I'm just going to use the word loser. If you associate yourself with loser every day, person are very negative, persons that are very pessimist, then you're going to start adapting their thinking
Yeah.
and the way how their beliefs.
Yeah.
Yes. So feed your mind with positivity. Be careful of who you hang around with. Hang around with persons that are very positive, persons
Yeah.
that tell that if those situation is this, but you can this can happen. You can have this. You can be this person. Yes.
Great.
So that's why.
Great answer. And I think so. How important is the idea of self-love, especially in this generation now?
In order for you to be successful, in order for you to be the full best version of yourself, you have to start loving yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you do not love yourself, then you're going to self-destruct. You're going to start sabotaging your own life. And I realized that when I did not love myself, I sabotaged my own relationship. Every relationship that I ever been in, I actually sabotage it. And it's because I did not love myself. And so because I did not love myself, I thought that persons there everybody that I was with did not love me. So in order for you have to start loving yourself, start appreciating yourself. None of us is perfect. All of us are false. All of us make mistakes. But it is those mistakes, it's our fault, it's our past experiences that makes us unique. It's those things that make us who we are now. And if you try to be, and one of the things I realized that a lot of persons are trying to be other persons because they do not love themselves.
Yeah.
So they think that if they were this person, then their life would be better. But then what you're actually doing is that you are denying the world of your gift, of your uniqueness. And because you're not made to be somebody else, you're made to be you. So you have to realize that everything that you have been through all your past, everything that you do not love about yourself, that's what makes you you.
Right.
That is what will take you into that is what will help you to fulfill your purpose. So start appreciating all the bad, all the good, everything about yourself. Look at yourself. If there's something that you do not love about yourself, what is it that I can start doing about it?
Yeah.
Say, for example, it's a behavior. What is it I can start doing about it to change my behavior? Do I need to start changing the way how I think about myself, change how I think about my situation? And then you have to realize that sometimes we do not love ourselves because of our weight, because of something physical about us.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about you being born short or you being born tall.
Yeah.
You have to realize that there's some things that you cannot change about yourself.
Yeah.
Or about your past. But what can you change? What can you do? How can you use it to make your life better? How can you use it to help other persons? It's all about how can you use, because I realized that everything that I've been through, I'm actually using it right now. My first book, the book that I wrote, An Empowered Life.
Yeah.
It was written because of my experiences, because of the things that I've been through, the things that I did not love about myself.
Right. Yeah.
And so I started learning to use all of those experiences as I found purpose
Right.
in all of my experiences.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's what.
That's great. So, one question, it might be a bit difficult answering, but one of my close friends has passed away recently, and grief is obviously something that I've felt. So, and a lot of people have this feeling of grief. And so, it's about how can somebody get over this feeling of loss or this feeling of grief? And how would you go about this bereavement process that someone is losing someone very close to them?
Okay. I remember when I lost my cousin.
Yeah.
You have to realize that there's different stages in that you will go through. In the first, you're going to feel angry,
Yeah.
especially if that person was very young, and so you're going to be angry. So just allow yourself to grieve,
Mm-hmm.
yourself to be angry. Just go through. Just allow yourself to. If you have to cry, just allow yourself to cry. You're going to miss the person. You're going to feel depressed and sad. So just go through the process.
Yeah.
Go through it. Do not try to hide your feelings or try to stop yourself from grieving.
Mm-hmm.
Just go through the process and
Go through it.
remember. Yes, and remember your past experience with that person. Remember your memories.
Yeah.
Remember the good times that you have. Do not focus on the bad times. Do not focus on, oh, I did not tell that person that I'm sorry for what I did. I did not apologize. And yes, do not dwell on that, because if you dwell on that, then the guilt, then that will only make the process much harder.
Right.
So just dwell on the positive, dwell on the good memories you guys had together. And well, that's what I did. I don't know
Yeah.
if that will help you help persons, but what I do is that I remember the person, the good things about that person.
Remember them at their
I
best.
allowed myself,
Yeah.
yes, remember them at their best, and just understand that for a time you're going to grieve, you're going to have hurt, you're going to feel sad.
Yeah.
Just allow yourself to go through the process. Yeah, so that is my I don't know if that will help, but
No, yeah, that's great. Allowing yourself to feel and giving yourself the space to really explore and unprocess those emotions. Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
forgive.
Forgive.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we do not say, for example, one of my problems is that my cousin was killed by gunmen, and so for a time I did not forgive those persons,
Yeah.
and so that actually intensified the grief.
Yeah.
So forgive. Yeah, just let go of any hurt, anything.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Yes, thanks very much.
Yeah. So, if somebody is in a situation, say someone is in a situation where they're in a job that they hate, how can they break free from this and really have the courage to do something that they're more passionate about?
Well, this is one of the things that I notice a lot with a lot of persons. I've talked to a lot of persons that are in jobs that they do not want to be in, but they means that they're not taking any action. They're not doing anything about it. So it's basically having a vision. What is it exactly do you want? What kind of job do you want? What do you feel passionate about? And then what are the little steps that you can start taking? Maybe you have a family, and so you cannot take a big jump. But what are the small things? What are the little things that you can start doing? Maybe you need to upgrade your skill. So start doing that.
Yeah.
But then you have to, if you're in a job that you do not love, you have to start taking action. You deserve You deserve better. You have to know that you deserve better.
Yeah.
Your family deserve better. Because
Exactly.
if you're in a job that you do not love, then you're going to be miserable. And I know there's a lot of persons that they're very frustrated, and their family life actually suffer for it. The emotional health suffers for it because of that. So you have to know that you deserve better.
Mm-hmm.
Your family deserves better, and so you have to start taking little actions that will help you to get that job that you want, and know that feel the fear and take action
Take
anyway.
action
Because
anyway.
one of the reasons why a lot of persons stay in the job that they're in because it is secure.
Right.
So maybe they
It
want to
feels
start a
safe.
business.
Yeah.
Yes, but then even that safety is no safety at all,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because something can happen and you lose that job tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then when you lose that job tomorrow, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to find a new job anyway, right? You're going to have to maybe start that business anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then so you have to start doing something about it. Realize that
Yeah.
you will have there'll be fear, there'll be uncertainty, but then when you look, one of the things that I do is that I project myself, maybe say 50 years from now when I'm 80, and
Mm-hmm.
looking back, I look back over my life. Will there be a lot of regrets? Will I regret the decision that I made, that I did not take action? Because a lot of
Right.
persons right now, they're elderly, they are miserable, and they are miserable because they look back over their life and they have a lot of regrets. Regret that they did not take action. Regret that they did not start that business.
Mm-hmm.
Regret that they did not leave that job.
Yeah.
And so, when you look at your life 20 years from now, 10 years from now, where do you want to be?
Right.
Yes. And then, what are the things that you can start doing now in order for you to
Right.
achieve what you want?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, feel the fear, but start taking the little actions, little things. And then you have to realize that persons around you will not support